Welcome to Sambhashana, a talk show hosted by Nilima. Every week, we present interesting conversations with diverse personalities across industries. For this week, we have with us Ms. Rajalakshmi Kameshwar Joshi. Rajalakshmi is a TEDx speaker, architect, an interior designer, a political analyst, motivational and a keynote speaker, social activist, environmentalist, faculty, social entrepreneur, and an anchor. She is also a district conveyor for the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Abhiyan for the Thane district. Rajalakshmi has also been curating an interview series called Jai Ho. She's a creative writer and an editor of books, contributing to many columns like Speaking Tree, The Daily Guardian, Swaraj Magazine, Op India, and few other renowned publications. Adding to this, she is also coming up with her book called Conquer Your Mind, Conquer the World, which is an attempt to enable everyone to empower themselves with lessons from Indian culture, the Bhagavad Gita, the nature, and life itself. Our best wishes to you, Rajalakshmi, on this upcoming book, and a very warm welcome to Sambhashana. And I'm so delighted, truly, to be talking to you, and also to keeping up my promise to have you back when I start my talk show.
A very good morning, Nilima. And it is really such a pleasure speaking with you, though virtually. And thank you so much for making me a part of this Sambhashana. I'm sure it is a very interesting Sambhashana.
Yes, and I'm truly honored, I must say, for having you again. In your introduction, tell me, did I miss out the list of things that you've been doing?
Um, no, I don't think so. You spoke
No,
about the did you speak
I
about the television debates and panels and all that? Did you speak
Oh,
about
see,
that?
I missed out. See, the kind of things that you've been doing, then I think I kind of missed out that. Okay, I apologize. Then I will definitely let my readers know that we get to see you more often on the TV as well.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. It's okay.
No, I was just that was a fast one, trying to pull your leg, saying that you've been doing so many things, and then because your introduction list was a quite lengthy one, and if I missed out on any aspect, I was trying, but then it really had to be that. Okay, with the virus in the air, back again with the third wave, how is it at Maharashtra, and how are the things there, and how are you coping? And then I know you recovered, and I hope things are fine.
Yeah, things are a little bad here right now, but then just like me, I think things are recovering here also in Maharashtra also and in all over India, I'm sure. And like you're aware, I also was down with a bout of COVID some days back, and trust me, it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
I
So
know, totally understand.
so I'm a little amazed at how people are thinking that it's something mild. It's not mild, it's milder, I would say. So all of you, whoever is watching this, I think, we should all take whatever necessary precautions and please don't take it lightly.
I
So
know, said it. Yeah, totally get that. I know we need to be very, very careful and not take it, mildly. Now, tell me, what has been the secret sauce behind, managing all this at a time? I thought that was quite a lot of, things that you put into your kitty, and I need to know what's this, apart from being so beautifully as ravishing as ever, and you effortlessly manage all these things. How do you do that, Rajalakshmi?
the thing is that I'm always excited to be doing something new, or I don't believe in confining myself to some kind of a box, whether mentally or otherwise. So that is why I always keep looking at something new to do. And but the like you were asking me, the key to whatever it is whatever I take on hand, whatever it may be, I will definitely focus on that particular thing at that time. So that is how I think we can manage a lot of different things. It's just that we keep thinking that, oh, this is not my forte, or this is not something that I can do, or we keep putting all these restrictions to ourselves that no, this is not something that I want to do.
That
or
is,
the
they
rest
say
of the
that
day.
think out of the box kind of a thing, and it's like
No,
saying
no,
be out
no.
of the box.
Think like there is no box.
Okay, that's a good one. Think like there's no box.
Yes,
That's nice.
there is no box.
What does a day, a typical day, in your life looks like?
I don't really have a schedule as such, strict schedule,
Mm-hmm,
because I may, like I said, I do a lot of different things. So if I may have to visit a site, I may have to have some meetings, I may have a debate, I may have a motivational talk somewhere, or I may have an event. So I can never say that my day is going to start at this time and it is going to end at this time. So I may be traveling. So earlier, it used to be even more unpredictable, you could say, because I was traveling quite a bit.
mm-hmm,
Now, because of the pandemic and all, things have started. We have all started working from home, so that is why I'm maybe, physically I may be confined to this box or whatever you say.
mm-hmm,
I do step out, as and when required. That, I mean, I
mm-hmm,
have been traveling now also with all the necessary precautions. But then otherwise, I wouldn't really be able to talk about a normal, a routine day. And
mm-hmm,
that is what excites me also. I wouldn't really be happy or content doing, say, maybe a routine kind of a job where, I am doing the same thing every day. So that was one of the biggest things that actually made me take up architecture, because then I did not want to have, restricted thinking. So,
mm-hmm.
I just let the day flow as it is. So,
I know. Got that. These days, we get to see you a lot on the television. Tell us, what is the secret behind being repeatedly on most of the television shows, from Arnab to the India TV and whatever? How is that you manage? Tell us that if you wanted to be there out, what is that you need to be doing to be as a panelist? Maybe is there some required skill sets that to be on the panelist, or what is it like?
Nilima, that's a very interesting question. And I think, the first and the major thing that most of these channels will look for is your opinion. That is what counts. You have to have a strong opinion. You have to know about the subject. You have to, and you have to really, most of the times, they want you to take a side, obviously. So it doesn't really work saying, trying to be diplomatic or trying to find an easy way out. So they want a strong opinion most of the times. So it's not about putting, two sides together and watching them fight. It's not just about that. It's about finding different perspectives to any
Mm-hmm.
issue on hand. Say maybe, some people will be speaking in favor and some people will be speaking, say maybe against a subject, or they will be putting in different perspectives, and that is what most people want.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've always had a strong opinion about something, and I've never thought twice about putting it in front of, say, maybe the authority, whoever it might have been, right from the school days. I used to always approach even the principal or the headmaster of the school, the headmistress of our school, and all. I used to always approach them if I had any problems. If I find something worth, speaking up about, I used to always put it across, and then I used to write quite a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, on these channels, they know that I do have this kind of an opinion. So on social
Mm-hmm.
media, I've been voicing my opinion, and that is why they know that I definitely know about the subject. And since they are quite aware about, say maybe what my background is, or what my kind of ideology is, or so then a lot of the channels, they assume that I'm going to take a particular stand. Sometimes they do ask what your
I
stand
know.
is.
Yes.
So that is how, they set up these panels accordingly. So
Okay.
they try to have a balanced kind of a panel where they
Mhm.
find all kinds of perspectives for a particular issue.
I know. I very recently that I've got to maybe learn, through my experiences that you have to be opinionated, and especially if you're a woman, you have to let that be, whatever in whatever forms, let it be, your opinion, and mudda laga ke very strongly it has to be out there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the world, I realize the world out there is not very nice to, working women or working class. If you're in a corporate world, I realize that.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think that, for all this talk about women empowerment, I don't think that
Mhm.
someone else can come and empower us. That is something that
Yes.
we have to take. That,
Yes.
we have not just have to take, we have to empower ourselves, and we have to feel empowered also. And we have to take the step forward. So, I mean, without that, no, no amount of people coming and empowering you is going to actually empower.
Well said, well said. And we know that you are an architect. That you have been an architect, okay, and you've studied architecture. And then, how did the transition happen from being an architect and doing projects to what you are right now? From a motivational speaker to an author to panelist. How did this gradually happen, or overnight that you realized? How did this all happen?
Okay, so very firstly, Nilima, a lot of people uh, assume that, I have stopped being an architect.
Uh
So,
huh.
I just for the record, I am an architect yet. I do uh, have some projects as an architect and an interior designer. And also at the same time, I have been doing all of this simultaneously. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like, I stopped doing something and then I shifted, some kind of a job, or I shifted my profession. So it was not like that. But yes, you could call it as some kind of a journey, perhaps, because the way in which I progressed from being an architect to being a motivational speaker to being a television panelist. So that has been quite interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
so a major part of all of this comes to the fact that I am also a social entrepreneur, and I am a part of many social organizations. So that
Yes.
actually helped quite a bit. And most of it, is because I was actually uh, connected with, a lot of projects for my Guruji. So,
Uh-huh.
so that's a very interesting way in which it developed. So, my role as an architect, um, you know, I don't know if you have enough time for me to be able to share this, but
Mm-hmm. Go
uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, see, my Guruji, the first time I met my Guruji was because, like most youngsters, I went for Guruji's darshan because my parents told me to do so. Okay, with my
Mm-hmm.
parents. So that was after marriage. So, but then, I just want to share this. I was naive enough to assume that maybe Guruji doesn't know anything about architecture, because a lot of people, even right now, a lot of people don't know what architects do. And you know uh, I see that most during the designing process also, they assume that they have just spelled out their requirements, and they think that that thing is almost done. What is there for you to
Mm-hmm.
do? This is just a few changes. I just want this room a little smaller, or I just want this
Mm-hmm.
a little differently. So they assume that it's a very simple process. And at the end of it, while doing a payment also, they don't know what we did. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was speaking with my Guruji, I just kind of, I don't know why, I assumed that he probably doesn't know what an architect does. So I was explaining to him that it's like an engineer, but it's a Vastu, Shilpi and all. He said, I know. And
Mm-hmm.
he explained what architects do. So I was quite amazed. And some of the other things also that he spoke, and it actually touched me on a spiritual level. And I realized that there is a different force here. So, from there, from that meeting, to me becoming the architect of the mutt. And I did a lot of projects for Guruji, and I was a part of the technical team. And as part of the technical team, I mean, I'm so feel so honored and blessed that I've done such magnificent projects. And every meeting with Guruji, like we used to have these technical meetings with Guruji, where I could actually see the kind of vision and the visualization that Guruji has. So
Yes.
so whatever, how many stories the building may be having, he could visualize everything, which most people can't. I mean, it's not that the people are not intelligent enough or something, but visualizing some a structure which is not existent is not something that everyone can do. And Guruji has always shown that he's very good at visualizing all this. So from being an architect for the mutt, and then I started writing also. There was this newsletter, this monthly magazine called Setu,
Mm-hmm.
because of which I started. I was always very good at writing, and I was very
Mm-hmm.
interested in writing also. But most of my writing was all on fictional stuff.
Okay.
So it was more of creative writing. But then
Mm-hmm.
I started, through this newsletter, what was happening is bringing out, some positive aspects of life, of whatever is happening in the mutt also, and a lot of like Guruji's pravachans. I
Mm-hmm.
used to translate into English, and they used to be there in that newsletter. So I was connected a lot with the mutt also, with Guruji also. So then I started becoming a lot of very active in social projects. And
Okay.
my father also being a Rotarian, I was I was quite close to all these social projects and social organizations and all that. So that is what got me into a lot of events and a lot of things, like the media. We used, like I was in charge of a lot of things. So I used to interact with the media also, and at the same time I was writing also. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was writing all the spiritual stuff, I realized that I can actually motivate people in a good way, and people used to appreciate and used to like it also. So that is why I graduated to becoming a motivational speaker. And then and I was vocal on social media also. So then
Mm-hmm.
the media people already knew me because of all these events, because I used to interact with them for for the media, for the events there. And then
Okay.
they started calling me for their panel discussions also. And that is
Okay. Now we got to know
that
where does it start from?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, your story with us, and it's quite inspiring. At this stage is a very good stage for youngsters to get into politics, because the government is doing quite a lot of work and stuff like that. And I want to know, what are your views about the youngsters getting into politics?
Nilima, I've always believed, then that rather than simply criticizing or bad mouthing the government, it's better to become a part, or at least proactively be a part of it, at least that process.
Yes.
Simply what one can do is, if you have a problem, then don't just look at it as a problem, just try to look at the solution to it also. And it's very easy to say that oh, the government is not doing anything. So I always say that we always look at the constitution, and we have seen a lot of people always talking about, um, oh, as per the Indian constitution, I have this freedom and I have that freedom, I have freedom of expression, I have freedom of, we have all kinds of freedoms. We have the right to freedom of this, right to this, right to that. What about our duties? So the youth, they, with all their enthusiasm, with all the fresh energy and fresh ideas, I think the youth definitely can come up with better solutions maybe, and they're more in touch with whatever is happening right now, and the more with in touch with the problems of the youth, and I think then they can come up with better solutions also. So if you have seen in the last few years, the youth has definitely started taking a lot more interest in the political scenario of our country. So,
Absolutely. Yes.
it's really good to see that, they're taking a proactive role in this. Say maybe writing to the people in authority, or say maybe voicing their awareness, their opinions, and trying to create awareness about certain issues. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of ways in which the youth can play a very active role in the governance also, and also in shaping the future of our country, because ultimately the youth is definitely the future of our country also.
Yeah, yes, yes. Well said. I totally agree with you that the way, with a lot of youngsters, being the workforce for the future and stuff like that, we definitely have a greater say and, the shaping the, future of the nation. And, coming to our topic, which is very close to our heart, and we've been discussing about women empowerment, and on many occasions. I'm like, I also see that it's many women do not make it to the boardroom. When I say boardroom, in terms of the past struggle and stuff like that. And also parallelly, you look at when, youngsters are getting into, politics, and then women are making a foray, maybe the percentage wise or the ratio wise, the women into politics may be less, okay? But how do you think that the scenario can change, and what is that women can feel empowered, and what is that we can do to make ourselves empowered and be right there out? I just wanted to have your views on this.
Okay. So, like initially, I was speaking about women empowerment and how, uh, no amount of other people empowering us is going to help. So, and this holds true for whatever profession you may be in, and whatever you might be doing. You may be a scientist, you may be a somebody in you may be a corporate person, or you may be a politician. So this thing holds true for almost all women, I may say. Unless there is, say, maybe some kind of a godfather, or your parents are, say, maybe some big politicians, or they may be, say, maybe the big industrialists, like, say, maybe Mukesh Ambani or somebody, then things might be different. And but there, even then, you know if, say, maybe they have sons and daughters, then we still don't know what they might do with that. So, this thing, it always comes down to the mindset. This is what I always feel. And also, there are a lot of other factors also. Like, I'll just give you an example. Um, See, most of us, we consider the Nobel Prize to be the ultimate, or say maybe that's kind of a benchmark about the kind of it is supposed to be the highest honor for any particular field. That is what most people assume. So, if you just take a look down history from the time the Nobel Prizes were announced, I think in 1905 to till today. So there are some 700 total awards given out till today.
Mhm, mhm,
And out of that, I think some uh, 400 have been given out in sciences. There are a total of 22 women only who have been awarded the Nobel Prize for Sciences, and
mhm,
out of which Madame Curie has been awarded twice.
mhm,
So, I mean, and for her, it was quite a fight, even being awarded the prize, even the first time, because she was sharing it with her husband. So,
mhm.
uh, it has been quite a task for women to find recognition. And then, apart from that, the Nobel prizes are also given for things like literature and peace and all that. So a total of 51 women out of 700 awards
Mm-hmm.
for, I mean, in all disciplines. So are you trying to say that, in all these years, women have only contributed, say maybe 51 times in whatever way? I mean, women have been actively involved in all these disciplines, say maybe in sciences, in medicine, in literature, in governance, everywhere. But then look at how they are recognized. But the most important or the most significant part of this is that they are probably not recognized because somebody else has taken away their credit. Somebody else has they have been overlooked, or uh, somebody has looked at them with some kind of a bias. And very firstly, maybe women were not even given that equal opportunity to be able to put across whatever, however capable they may be. They're not given
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to put across, or to make a suitable contribution. So
Yes.
if a woman is able to lead her team, then maybe she will be given that kind of an honor, or she will be given that kind of a credit. But then if nobody uh, believes her, or trusts her enough to be able to make a kind of a research, an important research, and nobody is kind of rooting for her or sponsoring her to do that, then she will never be able to finish how much ever good an idea it may be. So,
Yes.
and then to add to all of this, the woman has to, take so many responsibilities in the house, in society. You have to, in earlier times, it was even more difficult, and even today, a lot of careers are not considered women friendly, because then it involves a lot of travel, and it involves say maybe irregular schedules, and a lot of uncertainty, etc., etc. So, and say some most of the times it could involve a lot of finance also, which neither banks give easily, and even the family also. If there are sons and daughters, then the parents normally tend to think that the son might do better with it, for two
Yes.
reasons. That is, that the money will stay in the house, and secondly, maybe the daughter may not be able to do as well as the son. So that is the general tendency of most people. So then, for a woman, finding the kind of capital, or finding investment, finding the support, financial,
Mm-hmm.
emotional, or from society, that is always a challenge. So but the very first battle that a woman always has to fight is with herself.
Yeah.
So
That's the biggest battle.
yes, so when a woman thinks that I will be able to do it, that I can do it, and then she convinces herself, and then her family, and then outsiders. I mean, that is, so the battle starts there with your own mind. So,
Yes. Yes.
if you're able to convince yourself first, then 50% of the battle is won. Then you have to convince your family and investors, or whoever. But then that is the first thing. You have,
Yeah.
even if say maybe your family is against you, you have to, if you believe in the idea, you have to go by it, you have to stand by it, you have to learn to delegate, you have to learn to share responsibilities. So there are a lot of challenges, but then ultimately, without overcoming them, you cannot do it. So somebody else may come and teach you some skills, but then, unless you take that step and you go ahead and do something with those skills, so I may be an architect, but if I don't do anything with it, then how am I empowered? I'm not
Yes. Yes.
empowered. I have
Mm-hmm.
to do something about it. So I have to find ways and means of, in which by which my house is also managed, and at the same time I'm also able to make a suitable contribution to whatever profession I'm doing, whatever task I'm doing. And, I cannot assume that I will do everything by myself. So I definitely need help. I need I need to employ people who will be able to help with the house, and I should not feel that, oh, I'm being a bad mother, or if I'm not cooking something at this time, and if I'm employing a cook maybe, so I should not feel guilty about that. Then I'm because then
Absolutely.
I'll not be able to take the additional responsibilities. So all these kind
Yes.
of things, they bind down a person, they hold you down, you start these battles. You have to win yourself first, and then you can go out to win the rest of the battles. That's why that
I.
book, conquer your
Mhm.
mind and
Yes.
conquer the world.
I know how beautifully you put, first empower yourself before someone else could empower. Very well paraphrased it, Background of women empowerment. In the recent past, a lot of things have been spoken about the marriage bill and the equal age of marriage. And against that, we also saw that against a panel of 31 members, we had just one member, one woman member in that group. Now, what are your views on the age of the marriage and why it's important that the bill has to pass, and why is it so important that people are being discussing around this?
Nilima, I always feel that a woman has to be uh, self-sufficient. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm coming with the first part of the thing, that is why that marriage age needs to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that a woman needs to have the strong backing of a good education firstly, and then become self-sufficient in whatever uh, say maybe either being employed somewhere else, or even setting up your own small venture, whatever it may be. There are a lot of ways. I mean, um being self-employed doesn't always mean having, say, maybe a big, huge industry or a big, huge office. There are a lot of ways in which, a lot of you have you're aware of small and medium entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
even if somebody is supplying you with cut vegetables, and they're doing it in a professional way, they're a small entrepreneur. So if somebody is providing you with, say, maybe salon services at your home, then I mean they're also entrepreneurs, all of them. So, this thing about empowering yourself, it starts with, you have to obviously be skilled enough. You have to learn certain skills, and then you can put it to good use and be able to earn money. So that thing is
Okay.
always there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when a girl is, say, maybe forced to marry at an early age, and she has to put her education on hold, because then she's not assured that after marriage she'll be able to actually finish with her education. She'll be able to say maybe graduate, or even find a suitable work opportunity. So then that becomes a challenge. So in most families, especially in rural areas and in a lot of communities, you find a lot of girls being forced into early marriages. And then
Yes.
that later causes, I mean, then you can't really say that, oh, after this, you should not have a child immediately or something like that. So then they are burdened with a lot of responsibilities at an early age. So then, if you're not educated enough, and you already have all these responsibilities, then obviously your uh, work opportunity also reduces. So, that early marriage can cause a lot of problems, and in your future journey towards becoming self-sufficient. So that is why I think that it is a good step of the government to be able to raise the marriage age. But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot just have a blanket ban on this also, because then there could be a lot of other complicated issues, like there could be, say, maybe uh, uh, s- you know now, in today's times, you cannot really limit friendships, or you cannot really limit people from having relationships, and you could have, say, maybe somebody is uh, pregnant early, and there are a lot of such cases. So then what happens to such relationships? What happens to such children born out of such relationships? And there are a lot of issues that only women can understand. So that is
Yeah.
why I feel that women should be a part of writing the rules for
Mm-hmm.
the marriages here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's see, the marriage bill will
You
obviously
mean
be
to say that women write their own rules for the marriage?
bec- not just maybe only women write their own rules. A marriage is
Hmm.
about a man and a woman
And
both.
yes,
So
yes,
both should be a part of it. You cannot just
yes.
leave it on the women also, because there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of cases where women have taken undue advantage of a lot of laws and a lot of things. So I think both should be a part of the lawmaking process. So,
Yes.
but when you have a situation where out of 31 members, you have only one woman
Yes.
representing the entire uh, women folk here, so then,
Mm-hmm.
obviously it is a matter of concern.
Yes.
Uh, that brings us to another issue, that is about, like you spoke about, writing own rules. Yes, I have always believed that, you know, if you want your voice to be heard, or if you want your opinion, or if you want to be a part of the solution, then obviously you will have to make sure that that opinion is considered, and that it is given importance. And till the time that only men are a part of this lawmaking process, so the woman's perspective will not be looked at. If your
Yes.
perspective is not a part of, because the man will only look from his point of view. So if a woman puts across her point of view also, and both of them together create the rules, then it will be a balanced kind of a law. So, and this holds true not only for this particular marriage bill, but also
Mm-hmm.
for the entire, I'm talking about the entire government.
Mm-hmm.
So, till the time that women are not a part of this process, so the
Mm-hmm.
lawmakers are the politicians, are
Yes.
MPs and MLAs, and
Predominantly the men.
yes. So, but why does that happen? Because now, if you cannot just say that, okay, we will just give 50% reservation to women. I
Mm-hmm.
think that again will be unfair, because then you cannot suddenly uh, come and just give some constituencies to women and say that, okay, from uh, you know from today you will be in charge of this. That
Mm-hmm.
woman should be capable also of that
Mm-hmm.
particular task or that particular position. You can't make, for the sake of it, you can't make somebody a minister just because you want equal, representation of women in the cabinet. The woman has to be capable enough also. And at the same time, there should not be a bias, because thinking that, oh, she'll not be able to do it because she's a woman. So you understand, it should be a fair game. So for that, a woman has to be a part of the political process, and they should be capable also of being given that kind of a responsibility. And say, for example, today I would say, are the women in our cabinet today, they are not there just because you want to have a certain number in the
Mm-hmm.
cabinet. So this is right now what we have is the highest number of women in the union cabinet. So see, each one of them is strong enough, like they are very much capable enough, and they are qualified to be in that particular ministry. That is why they're there, not because they are a woman. And they were not um, you know nobody looked at them and said that, oh, they will not be able to take up this task. See, Nirmala Sitaraman, she has been the defense minister, and
Yes.
right now she's the finance minister. So it is not that it's a very huge responsible ministry. I mean, it's a very important task. All ministries are, but then this is a huge responsibility.
So summarizing, you just said, that both the opinions, towards the marriage has to be considered, and then, whatever required decision has to be, taken, necessary decision has to be taken, right? Yes, yes. Now, before I even move to my most interesting section about the past five questions, which are a kind of very fun way of, ending the show. Before this, we've just concluded, the budget yesterday. And then, under these two instances, during the budget and during, the election time, the common man is least affected, or maybe I think we don't have an identity kind of just there, and only what you say, a vote banks count only when you want to win an election. That is one way of looking at it. Second time, when the budget happened, you speak about infrastructure, you speak about that development, you speak about this, and but then nothing is concentrating on the common man. It is either the top notch, whatever it is, the industry and stuff like that, and for the common man in between na jo hamare just a middle class always in terms of the tax slabs and everything is kind of ruled out. But why is this so unfair, being a middle class, when it comes up to the budget? I put it
Okay.
out on a very fun way, a very lighter note, but then sometimes it feels right when every year, we PR people, I'm like, what is it there? Because we had to follow the budget, for whatever various reasons and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, after the budget comes, we'll see videos, what are the advantages and what is that and what is it for a common man and stuff like that. Whether the milk is up, the oil prices are up, the gas is up, these are the things, that goes around. But then, I just thought, you being, I'm having an opportunity to talk to you, and I just thought I would want to hear your views on this.
Okay. Now, I would say like you said it, you nailed it. Say maybe in the first couple of sentences, saying that we are not a vote bank, so maybe that is why we don't really appeal much to the lawmakers. Again, the if we don't put our opinions strongly enough, so obviously we will be neglected. But on a little more serious note, I would say that this time, if you see the budget, they definitely had a lot of opportunities to play appeasement to the states that were actually going in for the elections. But then that did not really happen. And I think it was more of a balanced budget where, like you said, there was a lot more focus on things like infrastructure, even on defense and things like trying to make India Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar Bharat was again a focus in
And also adding digital currency got a boost this time.
yes, the
Yeah,
digital
yeah.
currency, adding the digital currency. So in a way, the government has not really regulated or deregulated or de-recognized the digital part of it, so that cryptocurrency. But at the same time, they are being taxed. So then, in a way, I don't know whether it is a way of legitimizing the cryptocurrency, but at the same time, you can't really like a lot of people who are actually getting a lot of profits and a lot of benefits out of the cryptocurrency, and now they will be taxed, and they come under the
Yes,
scanner. So
yes,
I will have a lot more, discussions in detail about this. Like I'm having a discussion today also in the
yes,
evening,
today, yeah. Yes,
and
yes,
then I'm going to have a few more discussions on these issues, like say the budget in general also, and on the digital currency, and a lot more like that. So through my talks, I've been trying to throw light on a lot of issues that actually concern people. But uh, again, coming back to these issues, what I feel is most of us, we feel that all these issues have nothing to do with us. Say maybe the infrastructure, maybe the real estate, maybe the industries or the corporate agriculture. But then the middle class or any of us, they are, all of these are the issues that actually concern all of us. Like if the government doesn't really focus on the infrastructure, then you don't have good roads, then you don't have you don't have proper regulations for the housing. You don't have you can then we only say maybe criticize the government, or then we say that the builders are fleecing us and all that. So then the government is doing their bit to try to put regulations on all in all different sectors, obviously. Say even in defense. So, see, I don't really discuss too much about the defense part of it, not because I'm not aware. I definitely am aware of a lot of things, but the government also tries to keep certain aspects confidential about defense, and rightly so. So, but here this time also again, you see a lot more push being given to our, we getting, we actually researching and trying to manufacture our own, defense equipment. So that I think is definitely good, because again, this our nation's internal and external security, that again concerns all of us. So we are not separate from any of this. So when we look at industries, when we look at corporates, when we look at any of these things that have been mentioned in the budget, agriculture. So if the agriculture sector is not looked into, then obviously it affects the common man again. So see, there are a lot of issues. Like say, for example, in the agriculture part of it, uh, this some subsidies given to fertilizers have been cut. And I tell you that it looks like a negative thing when you say that fertilizers are not getting enough subsidy. That has been cut. But then, what was happening is, in a lot of states, in a lot of places, uh, the farmers were, loading their farms with lots and lots of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, up to a meter and more in some places, and that actually was making the land totally barren. So it's like every year you have to keep putting more and more and more fertilizer. So instead of that, I think there should be the shift towards organic farming, towards much more natural ways of farming. So nowadays there is this shift towards this thing called as zero budget natural farming, which the government wants to encourage, and that is why they're trying to cut down the subsidies for fertilizers and stuff. So, but if you look at it in a different way, or if somebody misleads you, then they will feel that, oh, the poor farmers, they're being uh, you know penalized, or that there is this a big burden on the farmers. And how does it affect us in any way? It affects us, obviously, is because at the end of the day, that's the food that comes on our plate. So what the farmers are doing there will end up in on your plate. So then obviously, all of us are affected by all of these things. So we don't want to pay our taxes. Firstly, we say that, oh, the government has not done anything about the roads. Why should we pay the taxes? And then, when the government is trying to do something about the roads, then we say that, oh, they're talking about infrastructure. How does it affect us? So, see, now another thing that I want to say is, like, along the borders, all these years, there was this strange, absurd policy by which the infrastructure around the Indian side of the border, that is especially around the LAC, the borders that we share with China, that was totally undeveloped, with this
Mhm.
strange thing that the Dushman Desh will take advantage of it. And on the Chinese side, there was a lot of activity going on. They developed the infrastructure. So there was no, if you don't have good fences, you cannot expect to have good neighbors. So obviously you will have a lot of tiffs if you don't have a good fence. If you don't have a proper fence, then you will forever have problems. So, if you look at it, the major stretch of our border with China, you don't have a definite border. So now we have started this push about, we have a lot of expressways, we have bridges, tunnels, and a lot of things are being done, in terms of infrastructure. So that push being given to the infrastructure, I think that is making life easy for all of us. So we
Mhm.
should look at it in a positive way. And, like I said, that when we criticize, we should look at it from all points of view, and try to understand what exactly is happening, and how it is going to affect us and others also. So it's not just, say, maybe me as an individual, I may not directly benefit from something, but then I should look at as the scenario as something that is affecting the entire country. So something that is happening at the LAC, that infrastructure may not affect me directly. I may never use it in my entire life, but then it is definitely safeguarding the country. So that makes a huge difference. I mean, that thing. So coming back to it, on a serious note, I think, all these things that are being discussed in the budget, that definitely is on a very positive note, and I hope to get even more of a detailed analysis in my
Yeah,
discussion
I'm
today.
looking forward to, see that, and then, but
Yeah.
Rajalakshmi, today I think you shared with us quite a lot of interesting things, and I have personally learned quite a lot of things. And then let's move on to the last segment, when, we're in the fast five. In the fast five, the first question is, with the so many hats that what you've done, which is the closest and your most favorite role or your hat that which is very close to your heart?
Okay, that I would say that that is the heart of the one monster called as mom.
Now, the next question is, which is your last vacation?
Um, the last vacation was to Kathmandu.
And when was
Nepal.
that?
That was in
Before the pandemic?
it was in December.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
December
okay.
December 2021. Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite television journalist? Do you have favorites?
You're going to put me into trouble by saying this.
I want to put you in a fix, put you in the spot. You can
No,
choose to answer, you can choose, whatever it is.
no. See, I have been on a lot of channels, and I've interacted with a lot of journalists also. But to tell you very frankly, um, most of them I have not really met, most of them, because nowadays, especially, what is happening is we have online debates. But then
Mhm.
the most I've interacted with is, to tell you very frankly, the most I've interacted with is Arnab Goswami, and he, he's a fabulous person, and I've had a very good experience. So I mean, on screen also, during the debate also, and before and after the debate also, I've had a very good experience with Arnab Goswami. And in person, there are a lot of people that I met, like Anand Narsimhan also is. He's a
Yes.
very nice, very cool person. Even
Mhm.
Pradeep Bhandari is a good anchor. And there are a lot more, but then I have not met them in person. But then I do know them very well. Vineet Malhotra is a good friend, and
Mhm.
there are a lot of them with whom I share a very good interaction, and they're good friends also. So
Okay.
uh, I hope that I don't come into trouble for saying any of this.
Don't worry. Point noted. You've given few of your other favorites as well. The last movie you watched.
Okay, so I mean, nowadays most of it is on OTT. So are you talking about this?
Whichever one. A movie, or which is what you watched last.
Okay, um, I think the last movie I watched was Sher Shah.
This is quite an old one. And during the lockdown, how did you have a hobby? Did you kill your time, or how was it? What was it like?
There was no time to kill.
And okay, with this, we wrap up the session, with the fast five. And I must say, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for your time with us. And before I let you go, the last one thing is, if people have to reach out to you, how do they reach out to you? Is there your social media accounts or your email ID? Can you please share it with us?
Yes, I am very much active on almost all social media. Like I am, I'm on Facebook. I have my Facebook page as well. I'm on Twitter.
What is the
And
Facebook page, and what's the Twitter?
Facebook page is by the name of Rajalakshmi Kameshwar Joshi. Then on Twitter, again Rajalakshmi Joshi, but this handle would be at Rajalakshmi J. Then I'm on Instagram. It's Rajalakshmi KJ, I think. Uh, I think
I'll
maybe
put
you
that
could,
down. I'll put
yeah.
that down. Yes, yes,
Then
yes.
I'm on LinkedIn, and yeah, that's it. So I am,
Super.
I mean, in whatever way people want to reach out, they can reach out to me. And if they need any help or if they need any guidance, counseling, definitely I would love to, make whatever positive difference I can make in their life.
That's on a great note, Rajalakshmi. Again, thank you so much. And we will see you the other side.